Howdy, Model Railroad Talk fans. We are back with another video. After I did my video of my grade crossing and that you've seen at the beginning of this, I had a few people reach out to me and ask me what components I use. For the record, this is not connected to my DCC system or anything like that. It is all basically products I bought that I hooked together and made them work. So what we're going to do is we're going to go through each and every one, and I'll show you how my grade crossing works. And yeah, so stick around because we're going to start this show now. All right, my friends. So yeah, the grade crossing, you've seen in the beginning, actually comes with two of these, it starts out with purchasing one of the actual lights. These I got off of, now don't laugh, and this one obviously I have not pulled out. I need to fix the sign on that one, so bear with me a minute here. But don't laugh, I got them off of Wish. Yes, I did get them off of Wish. They are, for what they are, they're pretty decent. This is HO scale. I do believe, I'm looking, I know the one that I got, and I'll show you here if you look on my phone, that's the details of it. I do believe you can get them for N scale. I'm sure O scale, but basically I'm running two of these, and as you can see, there's two red wires and one black wire that has a resistor. That's confusing. I think they should have went red wire with the resistor, because your resistor is actually your power for your lights, and then the other two are your ground. So I wish whoever put these together, they would have done them, I guess, a little differently, but who knows? Maybe over in China, red is ground and black is power. Who knows? So anyways, that is, so for, like I showed you on my phone, it's $8, or currently it's $8.88 for one of these flashers, but you don't get just the flasher. Oh, they do come in a nice little hard plastic case that closes. In addition to that, you get this nifty little circuit board. Now, basically, on the top here, you have your 12-volt power go in, and then down here you have, which is basically for each LED, and it basically switches between the two. Now, you might be asking, okay, well, there's four going out to the grade crossing lights. There's four plugs, or four spots for wires, but that's only got 3 wires on it. That's because you can use these if for some reason you want to add other lights or whatever, you can. You do not need to use all 4 spots. Basically what I did is, and I don't know if this camera will zoom in, you can see you've got LED, it might be backwards to you, but you can see you got LED positive, LED negative, LED positive, LED negative. So basically you just need to put in this case, the black wire with the resistor into one of those positives, and then you take, and you're just gonna have to figure out which light is which for which way you want it to flash, especially if you're doing dual. And like, I want my lights to be the opposite side in the front one. I want them to where they're doing this and not in and out, you know, because most of them, they are like, they match. You just put your negative. So let's just say, for argument's sake, you put the black wire with the resistor in this first one. You put one of the red ones or negatives in right here, and then you put the other negative in on this side. Now what that does is this basically switches, when you apply power, it switches between the two. Okay, and it does have a speed adjustment on how fast it flashes. So you're gonna have to figure out how fast it flashes, how fast you like. that kind of thing. So, yeah, for the $9, I ended up purchasing my first two. And then I ended up, you know what? I know I want to do 2 more of these on the railroad. Or I'm sorry, 2 more signals. 1 more grade crossing, at least, at minimum, 1 more that is going to be lit up and active. Okay. The first one I pulled out, the little sign fell off. I didn't want to show you that one, but that comes off easily. It's just basically glued on there. And I'm not going to fault them. This thing came all the way from China. And if that's all that's wrong with it, I think I can glue it, you know. All right. Now you might be asking yourself, okay, how did I get it to kick on by itself and turn off? Now, up to you. You can simply put a switch in. Or like me, I have, you know, you can put a switch in and wire it up to where, okay, it's coming. You can flip a switch and it turns on, and then you can shut it off after it goes by. That's a simple solution, and it simply hooks up. You put the switch, single pole, single throw switch in between your power, your ground, whatever, and you can have it on your fascia and flip the switch when you want it to turn on. And once the train goes by, you can turn it off. That's an option. I chose to do a more automatic way. And after lots and lots of research, I came up with this nifty little thing. And bear with me, I'm going back into actually my ordered list so I can pull this up on my phone. And yet again, this came from Wish. There's kind of the, let's see here. If you can see it, hopefully it's not backwards too much that you can't read it. But these are only $2, well, currently $2.10 a piece. And basically what they are is a photo resistor, how do they call it? Light control switch photoresistor module detection sensor. It can handle 10 amps, which our railroads are going to be more than 10 amps. I am running a power supply it's actually a higher performance power supply. So it's running like 12 or 13.3 volts or something like that. And all I simply will do is step it down if need be for certain things. But basically what this is just like I showed you on the crossing lights. This has 12 volt power in. Then you see this wire, and it comes with this. This is a photo sensor. So in the case, the way I have mine hooked up is when the car rolls over, I have several of these, and I still actually have to put a few more in, I found. But these, I just drill a hole between my, basically between my ties and through the roadbed. And I don't know if I can get this to slip through there or not. Well, good. I guess good thing this is just a scrap piece of track, so I can get it through here to show you. But basically, of course, it's going to fight me now. Yeah, there we go. We're getting her. There we go. You do want to drill a hole, at least your starter hole, big enough that that'll sit down flush in between the tracks. But basically what I do is something, if I can get it to stay, something like that. And I have them every so often. I have 2 just on either side, like directly past where my road is. Then I have a couple more out, and so on and so forth. I have them spread out on my main line, and I still have to put a few more in, and I'll explain that in a minute. And then on my siding here, I have to put a few more in just because of the shorter, like my switcher locomotive. It's too short, or it's shorter. So I need a little more. It's too big of a gap basically between 2 sensors. But anyways, you have this. And when this is plugged in, you have a relay right here. Now you have the option. So you will have to put a 12 volt source in. If pull this up here, see, hopefully it'll focus. You can see here, you have the middle one, and you have this one and this one. Okay, so you basically, the one over here by my finger would be normally open. This middle one is where you would put 12 volt source in, and this one is normally closed. So the way I have it set up is normally open. Okay, so that would be, you put your 12 volt power in, you would put your power that goes to your sensor for your crossing lights that has the little module, right? You would put the power for that, the positive side to that, or you could do negative as well. It doesn't really matter. I want power to the normally open. So basically what that means is, as this would sit right here, let's say I have my power hooked up and we have light, so it's normally open. Okay, now in a sense, when I put my finger over this, it's going to flip this to closed position and send power through. Okay, so that's basically how I have that, to where when the cars roll over, it cuts out that light and in turn flips this relay, which in turn sends power to my module for my lights, and it works. And then as soon as the last car passes the last sensor, it shuts off. It goes back to normally open, quits sending power, and we're done. One note I will back up on is yes, I'm running two. And each kit you get comes with the little circuit flasher for the lights themselves. I'm only using one of those. It's more than enough power going through there. You don't need to hook up two of them. You can if you want. But for this particular grade crossing and my next one I'm going to do, I'm only going to use one of those. Okay. You only need one. You just run your wires the same unless you want them flashing differently. But anyways, going back to this actually has you can see it right there, a little screw dial. That would be your sensitivity, how sensitive this light, or this picks up light, or how quickly, or how much shade, I guess is the best way to put it, that your rail cars is going to trigger it. Okay. Some is one way is more, one way is less. So that's going to depend on your layout lighting. If I turn, and I do have a backlight so you can see me, but if you look, I have layout lighting that I can change the temperature of depending on how I'm operating. So basically I've had to go through, and I think my lights have 6 settings for the lighting temperature. So I've had to go through each one and make a little adjustment, next one, make adjustment, until I finally found just that happy medium. Does it work perfect in every situation? No. Most of the time I'm going to be running about 4,500 Kelvin, roughly 45 to 5,000 Kelvin for my lighting. Right now I've got it a little bit warmer. I want to say I'm like 3,500, 4,000 Kelvin, just something different. But generally speaking, it works. Now, okay, what do? You want to put in more sensors like I did. How do you do that? Because let's face it, that's only one plug, right? One sensor, that's all it comes with for $2 and some cents. They're very good. You got to get off Wish. Well, let me pull this up, and I should have been, this is kind of hard to balance this. I'm pulling it up now. These next things I'm talking about, I actually got off of Amazon. And there is the description. Hopefully it's right side, not reverse. If it is reverse, hopefully you can read reverse. If not, you can reach out to me. When I bought them, I want to say they were $6.99. So they're around the $7 range, depending on when you purchase them. But 100 pack of photo sensors. I actually have, since I bought my first pack, I bought a few more. I want to make sure I have extra. But this is what they are, these photo resistors. Okay. It's the same as this. See how well I can do this so you can see it. Yeah, they might look slightly different manufacturers, but it's the same thing. Basically, these come like this. They don't have a wire on them. All I do is I solder. I've got 32 gauge solid strand wire, and the colors don't matter because you're going to eventually hook these up in series. I'll solder a wire and a wire, put heat shrink on it. So they're not going to arc because they're a resistor. There's not necessarily power going through it, but if these are touching, then it'll trip that, and it won't work properly. It'll make that go off, assuming you set your relay up the proper way. So basically that's all I do. I figured out how many of these I need, went through, drilled my holes, set these in, and then I'm not going to show you the underneath of my layout right now because the wiring is horrendous. I'm still doing a lot of wiring because I'm doing my signals and stuff like that, but on this part. But basically it's real simple. I took this and I cut it right in the middle. Okay. I split the two wires, and you can see you've got positive and negative. You can keep it straight. In the end, it doesn't really matter. As long as you're basically what you're going to do, I guess let's just do it this way. You're going to take, for argument's sake, let's pretend these have wires on them. You're just basically going to hook them together like that, and in a series all the way around. And so you're going to have one, say, start on the X wire as an example, go, and then go one way, and then, let's see here, you have to have it start on one end if you're doing one track. Mine, I did 2 tracks, so I was able to start on one end of one track, work my way down, and come back. But on one track, you're going to have to start on one end and come down, and then run your wire back and say go to the dash line, okay? And once you do that, put power to it, check it, make sure it works, and then you will have to adjust. Remember the little screw right there? You're going to have to adjust the sensitivity because these are resistors, okay? Yes, they're photo sensor, but they are resistors. So you will need to adjust. The more of these you put in, the more of an adjustment you're going to need to make with that. Now, if I had to guess, 2, 4, 6, 8, I've honestly got probably 15 of them connected, roughly. And once I got up to about 10 of them, I want to say, or 10 to 12 of them, when I added a few more, I didn't really have to adjust it that much. But keep that in mind. The other thing, yes, I do have is a sound module. That's for another time because I'm still trying to get the sound file worked out so it's working right. The other thing I did to help me is I bought these off of Amazon. I don't remember how much they are, but basically, and you may have seen these and maybe you're using these, but you have the male and the female plugs. They're just 2-wire. These are probably 28 gauge if I had to guess, but they're just little plugs clipped together, okay? And you can take them apart. And what I did was my power going into here, I did it. So, and I did one coming out that was going to my light controller. I did that. So if I ever had to replace one of these, I do have extras. I bought, I think, 6 or 8 of them because I was going to do what I was going to do for my incline. I was going to use these and have like LEDs up here so you could watch where the train was when it was either climbing or going down the incline, because that's going to be mostly hidden. There'll be access, but it'll be hidden from the side. So I'm going a different route. But in case I need to replace one of them. But the other thing I did as well, coming out of here, right? You got your power going in, and then this comes out and trips. Basically, when this picks up the light, this says turn on. I actually made a Y. You get this the right way so it looks right. So what I did was, I put 2 of the, what I call the males, because they have the male plugs. I put 2 of those together into the relay, and then one of these goes to my lights, and then the other one goes behind the backdrop up to my sound module, which is up top here in the speakers back here. I don't know. I did not put one in between my speaker and my sound module, just because the sound module I got, it is, I can hook up my laptop, set it right here, run a cord up and change things out. So unfortunately, I do not have that set up to be able to, or I'm not set up to be able to show you that right now. If you are interested in the sound module, please let me know. I can, once I get, our good friend Eric from Warbond's channel actually did some editing and isolated bell crossing that was purely just the bell crossing. The one I got now has a distant and a distant train horn that if you're listening carefully enough, you can hear it. That's not what I want. I don't want that at all. But anyways, he was able to isolate just that. I need to get that put on there, see how it turns out before I start advertising what sound module I went with. I like it, but there's a few flaws, and I'm not sure if that's with the recording or if that's the sound module. I got to get that figured out. So, but anyways, like I said, I had some people requesting to see what I did for my grade crossing for the lights and stuff. It seems like a lot, but in reality, it's not. The flashers are easy. Hooking up the photoresistor relay, it's easy. Yeah, it's more tedious than it is anything. So if you have any questions, reach out to us, modelrailroadtalk@gmail.com. Or you can go to our website, www.modelrailroadtalk.com, or you can, after you like and subscribe to us on this channel, you can go ahead and comment and give us a day or so. We generally try to get back to you on comments within a day or so. So thank you for asking that question of what components. I hope that helps. And until the next time, keep your train on the tracks.